today. From TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida, it's Week 15 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
With a December snow blanketing much of the Midwest and Northeast, what a perfect time to be in the Sunshine State as we welcome you to TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Dallas Cowboys and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
22 men ready to do battle. It's time to dance. And off we go from Jacksonville. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. Jacksonville's offense trots out here for the first time, and all eyes go right to number 16. Now in his second season as the team's face of the franchise, Trevor Lawrence.
And last week's loss came despite a clean game on his end, throwing the ball with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. His job this week is simple. Do it again. Continue to avoid turnovers and hope that what sunk them last week resolves itself this time around.
Ready, set.
Going to the air right away, Lawrence. He's got the connection to Cole Beasley. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
And this is going to be incomplete. Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were fantastic a week ago in that win over Houston.
Yeah, we're definitely in top form and pitched a shutout, as a matter of fact. That's the cherry on top of a great week of preparation. And you know what? These guys are eager to keep it going. So motivate.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Micah Parsons. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Cowboys taking the field on offense, and for a 7th season, it's Dak Prescott who brings them out.
Now, he wasn't playing that last game right here on earth, was he? I mean, there's just no way. I mean, that performance, that number of times getting the ball into the end zone, throwing it.
No interceptions,
No interceptions, took care of it. Yeah, he was a little otherworldly in his last performance.
They start on the ground with Elliott. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. Looking to throw. Prescott. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season, sitting now at 13-0 and the finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but they were tested multiple times in that final month plus.
Yeah, but something like 4 of their last 6 wins were one-possession games, and they played like a team that was trying to protect something.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. CeeDee Lamb with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Cowboys get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big streak like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense.
Well, that's true. You've said that before. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term complementary football, because, as you noted, the defense has played well enough for them to win games, and the offense has held them back. So they've got to reward that defense by improving on offense. I don't know if you make a change, a quarterback, running back, tight end, it doesn't matter. Get better players, better system, so they can play to the standards of the defense, and the win column will result.
They go play action now. Lawrence. And this one into the hands of Ingram downfield. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 22 yards there, a first down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
To throw again on second down. Lawrence. And the pass is intercepted. He was looking for Ingram. There he goes right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick six.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for two. Following the interception, here's Prescott. That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. So their second touchdown of this first half, they went for two after score number one. Didn't get it. Now they get the equalizer, so to speak.
So to speak, and you can understand the thinking. Because they didn't get it after the first score, they wanted to get back to a normal points pattern, get up to 14. But just think, if they missed it here, They're only up 12-0. One extra point on the other side can ultimately beat you if they score twice.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Evan Ingram works his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
The numbers in last week's contest for Ingram: 5 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
That's Trayvon Diggs making a big play there for the defense.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now Lawrence toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. On 3rd down, Lawrence. They'll complete this to Ingram, his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down. The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. Taken in at the 11. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Cowboys. That's a punt return of 89 yards. And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. Prescott, they're going to throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. We are in for a good one as we're through 1 on EA Sports. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. And the Jacksonville offense on their way out again as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball. Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw here into the hands of Jones. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you can have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
They'll run again here with Robinson, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
On second down, a run with Etienne. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
This is taken at the 15. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The final 4 weeks of the NFL season are upon us, and we got some intriguing matchups in prime time tonight. Patriots and Raiders, that's in Vegas. Josh McDaniels taking on his former employer there. And then Monday Night Football, the Rams and Packers from what should be a frosty Lambeau Field at 8:15 Eastern Time, 7:15 locally there in Green Bay. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5. On third down, Elliott. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. On 1st and 10, Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's Ferguson. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. They go to Elliott again. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
That one, a first down pickup of 8. Now a timeout called for by the offense. as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. 10th carry now for Elliott. He will push his way down to about the 14. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 2nd down, Elliott once more. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Now Elliott. And this time he is in. Yes. Ezekiel Elliott in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys are able to add on to their first half lead. So he had the nice run to get him down there, was stopped just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. Final play of the half. Prescott toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. And one of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
A second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things and it won't come back and hurt them later.
So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top as we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start in the NFC East. This one always a battle. New York taking on Washington. And it's the Giants who have the lead as they approach halftime. 2 touchdown passes there for Tyrod Taylor. From there, we head to the Big Easy to check on the Saints at home in the Superdome. And they lead the visiting Atlanta Falcons at halftime. A touchdown there for Alvin Kamara. Lastly, let's get to the Windy City. See what's happening with the Bears at home at Soldier Field. And they trail the visiting Eagles at halftime. The Eagles trying to gut this one out as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys have just about put this one on ice already. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. Zeke and the Cowboys ready to begin their next drive. You see the numbers, all those carries. If you get that many carries in the drive, you better finish it with a touchdown, and he did.
Yeah, and deservedly so, right? Because we've seen times like the Carolina Panthers sometimes, John.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Cowboys. CD Lamb. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Cowboys have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Even though he was forced from the pocket, still able to adjust. make the long throw, and it ends with a really big touchdown.
Yeah, moving to his left. The key to everything when they're moving outside of the pocket, doesn't matter which side, making sure those shoulders get around and you get back square so you can get everything on the throw and create the big play we just saw there downfield.
They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Yeah, we dominate tonight.
Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 24. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. On 2nd and 11 now. Lawrence. And Beasley with it over the middle. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Well, still in the 3rd quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Lawrence gets this quickly to Ingram, and they're going to get this up to midfield.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
From midfield now, Lawrence. Here's a screen for Robinson. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 11. Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now Lawrence finds his tight end Ingram. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a 1st as he's tackled at the 47. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
88 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
Elliott going to get it again on 2nd down.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
And he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They will get 4 yards here on the 1st down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Prescott now from the 50. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To throw is Prescott. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he's going to pull his way down to about the 1 yard line. A good run, 8 yards there, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Again, it's Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
But I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on. But apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away.
Jacksonville set to go again offensively. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line.
Here's Lawrence to throw. He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Now Lawrence to throw.
And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Micah Parsons picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more than he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Lawrence.
And the pressure gets to him again. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
Here's Logan Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. That's taken it around the 40. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return, and this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10.
Out comes CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the Dallas offense.
Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
Inside give to Elliott. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 2nd down, Elliott once more.
After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. Off the play fake, Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brought to the ground by the linebacker, Foye Oluokun.
So they dial up the blitz on 3rd and inches. It pays off.
And frankly, they were probably dialing up a run blitz, expecting him to run it in that situation. But instead, they end up back at the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Now Prescott on 4th down. There goes a deep ball, end zone.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. From just shy of midfield, Lawrence. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets them a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Lawrence. And he finds Beasley complete. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. 3rd and 2, now Lawrence. And that is incomplete. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, Jags kicker Josh Lambo comes on. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And Lambo will put this one through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Past midfield, look out. 30, 10, and he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Cowboys. Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball, and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. They'll look to throw, and this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Lawrence. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Lawrence. And this one caught by Beasley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys.
And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for Dallas, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York.